Hello, everyone. Is there anyone here yet? See, we got three people here. Yeah, sorry about being a minute or two late. Just had some trouble getting stuff set up. But I think I'm ready to go now. I think we got a guest here. This is Dixie. She wants to walk across the keyboard, but I'm not letting her. She doesn't like that. That wasn't too bad of a day today. Sunny, about 60 degrees. My landlord got the lawn tractor going today. So I'm going to try that out tomorrow. I just rode a little bit in the yard today. I'm actually taking it down the road tomorrow. Hoping to go to the laundromat, post office, and to get propane with it. That'll be about a 10-mile trip altogether. Hello, M. Dixie, M said hi to you. She's not interested in anything now. I moved my other laptop so she can lay on my pillow where she likes to lay. That's why she was trying to get over there. They didn't do too much today. My back was kind of sore this morning. I kind of took it easy today. I think when I was working my generator Friday, I ended up hurting that because I was bent over working on that, and then when I stood back up, I had a real sharp shooting pain went through my lower back, and I didn't think too much of it at the time. But then when it started bothering it again yesterday, I think it stemmed back from that there. When I was bent over, I must have ended up pulling a muscle or something when I stood back up. Hello, Granny Atlanta. Good to have you here. So I decided probably better not push it today and just take it kind of easy. Feels pretty good right now. And it's supposed to rain tomorrow. I'm hoping not too bad. They're saying showers. But I figure that lawn tractor I'll be able to make better time. So I'll put my rain suit on and I'll go as long as it's not a downpour. And I should be okay tomorrow. I'm sorry to hear you're sick, Granny Lana. Batman, you can come over here. You can't be on the keyboard, bud. Come here. No part of that. If I won't let him on the keyboard, doesn't want to come over. I got chicken saddles on last night. You got to make some adjustments on a couple of them. They don't look quite right to me, but especially Alice. She was really fighting me. She was the last one I did. She actually took off running on me. You know, it's hard to try to follow a black chicken after dark. But I found her because she kept coming back to the coop. She didn't really want to take off. She just wanted to try to get away from me. So she would circle around, come back to the coop, and I finally got her cornered. And I got it on her. I see my banner's not going across the bottom. I set that up. I don't know why it's not on. Well, maybe I got to turn it on every time. I don't know if there's anyone in here that's got a channel with anything on it, but if you do, just type King to drop your link. There we go. Put the banner on, then lost my comments, but figured out how to get them back now. Hello, J. Marie. Good to have you here. Yeah, just to recap for anyone that just came in. My landlord got the lawn tractor going today. I put a couple parts on. Will you get off it, Superman? I put a couple parts on my Amazon wish list that it's really going to need. It'll work temporarily the way he's got it, but one of the spindles has been on it, and he ended up just temporarily getting the tie rod fastened on instead of making the new tie rod that he was going to do. You know, when he got that all done, it wasn't just right. So he fixed the old one, but it's not going to last forever like that. Let me see what else. Got what else we were talking about? Oh, I got chicken saddles on the hens last night. They're actually not fighting them or anything. I thought maybe they would, but they're still on. I got to adjust a couple of them. I don't like the way they're sitting on there, but they were fighting me pretty good last night getting them on, especially Alice. She did not want it on. Yes, it's going to make it much easier, J. Marie. I plan on going about 10 miles tomorrow. I'm going to go to the laundromat, the post office, and to get propane. And then I'm going to have to stop and get water and gas also on the way back. Hello, Austin and crew. Good to have you here. So that should make it much easier. And normally that trip I just told you about would be it'd be close to 2 hours, between an hour and a half and 2 hours of just riding. So I should be able to make it quicker than that on the lawn tractor. I've got a motor for my bike. I just need to get the throttle cable that's in the camper I'm using for storage, because I ruined the original throttle cable. It came with the motor. So I've got to get that other throttle cable out. And that should work. Hmm. Superman's over here playing a little rough with his sister. If you hear anyone growling, she was just growling at him. They're from the same litter, but he's 3 times bigger than she is, so he gets a little rough when he's playing with her sometimes. It last winter we had some nights got down to 20 below. It's typical winter night. It's usually 10, 20 degrees. We'll get quite a few nights that are below zero. Usually 20s during the day, but sometimes it won't get out of the single numbers during the day. And there's been times years ago that it would go days at a time, never go above zero. But luckily, we haven't seen that in a while. Hello, Abby. Good to have you here. I have a camper, Granny Lana. I have 20,000 BTU propane heater that I heat it with. I only try to heat half of it. That works out pretty good. I actually have to remount my heater on the wall because where it was, and then I had it up with wall anchors, and I was pulling on the heater to, which you shouldn't do, but I was pulling on the heater to come up the steps because sometimes it's just hard for me to come up the steps, and I ended up pulling one side out of the wall. So I'm actually gonna mount it to a 3/4 inch board and mount that board right directly to the studs. And while I'm doing that, I'm gonna put it in a different place. So should be able to heat a little bit better that way. I really don't have a need for an electric blanket because I've got to keep it 45, 50 degrees in here anyway. So plus I wouldn't have the power to run an electric blanket. Oh yeah, Jane Marie, that is cold. I that's why I've gotta get out of here. I just can't take the cold anymore. Hopefully next year I can move south. Okay, that sounds good, Austin. I'll keep that in mind. Yeah, no, Texas is a lot warmer than it is here. That's for sure. I'm hoping that somehow I can get the payments caught up on my Tennessee property and get down there before next winter. Okay, thank you, Austin and crew. I appreciate it. Yeah, they live. I don't even think it's a mile from me, so that's nice. I think I'm gonna have to try to find someone that's looking for some property and maybe make some kind of deal to share that property in Tennessee with them. Because it's 5.83 acres, so it's a big enough piece of property that I could share it with someone. Hello, Grandma Sandra. Good to have you here. I'm getting ready for winter. It's going to be here soon. I haven't checked the forecast today, but I know there's been some talk of snow mixed in with the rain. Nothing serious because it's supposed to be mid to upper 30s on the days when they had the snow in there. Actually, now they took it out completely. The lowest they're saying it's going to be anytime in the next 10 days is 35. Overnight low of 35. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday supposed to be high in the 40s. Friday in the 50s, and then Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday of next week it's supposed to be in the 60s. So that'll be good. Yeah, that's usually what happens around here. It'll get cold, and then later on in October, sometimes November, sometimes we have a couple weeks of nice weather. You never know what's going to happen around here. I know a few years back, it was 70 degrees on Christmas Eve. That's unusual, very unusual, but it was one year. Tried to talk my mom into having a barbecue on Christmas Day that year. She wouldn't go for it. Yeah, actually, Green Atlanta, we've hit 32. That's as cold as we've gotten this year. A couple nights it was 32. Other than that, our coldest nights have been mid to upper 30s. And I know all through the South there, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, it's supposed to be down in the low 20s. We're not supposed to even get close to that. So it's hard to believe. Of course, I know yesterday it was in the 90s, and I think Arkansas and Oklahoma both. I heard that it was in the 90s. And then a couple days later, it's going to be colder down there than it is here. It's weather's so messed up. Oh, yeah, you're up there a ways, aren't you, Granny Lana? 5,100 feet is up there pretty good. I know where I used to live, we were just under 1,000 feet there. I think it was nine 960 feet or something like that. It's hard to believe that you're going to have nights that cold in the south like that. Um, Tomorrow night we're supposed to be in the upper 30s. Tonight, mid 40s. But it'll soon be cold here. That's what I like about my propane heater. Doesn't take any electricity or anything. It's got a double A battery that goes in the igniter, but the igniter quit working on it last year, so I have to light it with a lighter now anyway. So that's fine. It was just a convenience to be able to push the button and have it light. In fact, tomorrow I gotta stop at the hardware store and get some screws because the holes where the front of the heater screws on to the main part of the heater, they got wore out and the screws fell out. So I have it wired together now. That's kind of a pain when I have to take it apart to clean it. So I'm going to get some screws and screw that back together, and I'm going to take it apart and completely clean it, and then get it ready to light. Yeah, it's not bad if it's 45 and above. Hello, Rebecca. Good to have you here. I think tomorrow's supposed to be our worst day weather-wise. Yeah, tomorrow it's 90% chance of rain. Tuesday is 30% chance. Wednesday, Wednesday they're showing a sunshine with a cloud and a couple raindrops, but they're saying chance of rain is 90%. Thursday, 50%. And then from Friday on, it's supposed to be partly sunny to mostly sunny every day for the next 5 days. So hopefully we won't get too much rain. It just started to dry out a little bit with these few dry days we had. Hello, Gary. Good to have you here. Hello, Jan. Good to have you here. Get that right, Gary. It always is a pleasure to see Rebecca. I know I'm going to be enjoying that hat she made for me. There we got 13 people in here. I want to thank everyone. I'll do a little recap for the ones that just came in. My landlord got the lawn tractor running temporarily for me today. I added some parts on my Amazon list that it's going to need to keep it going long term. But he's confident that this is going to work temporarily, so I hope so. But that's going to be heavy to push back if it breaks down 3-4 miles away. Got the chicken saddles on the hens last night. I thought they'd be pulling at them, trying to take them off each other and stuff today, but seems to be going good. So hopefully they can get their feathers grown back now. I got to try to find some higher protein feed to mix in the feed that I'm giving them. Jeff from Groovy Eggs was telling me that he suggested 30% game bird feed mixed in with the regular layer feed. So if you mix a little bit of that in, then that brings protein up to what they actually should be getting. Is it Sarah spelt with a C? Or is it Kara? Well, let me know if it's supposed to be Sarah. Then we'll go from there. Yeah, I'm not the best with names. I apologize for that. Does anyone have any questions for me? Any topics you want me to hit on tonight? Just let me know. If anyone wants your link dropped, just type in King. Get that on a banner today. Put it in earlier, but then it wasn't there when I started, and I realized I have to start that every time. Okay, so it's Kara. Okay, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, chickens are doing good. They've cut back on their laying now. I'm getting 2 or 3 eggs. Normally 2, occasionally 3 eggs from the 4 hens. But they did good all summer. They were pretty much laying, each one of them was laying an egg every day. Altogether, I've got 7 chickens. I've got Earl and 4 hens in the run right now. And I got 1 hen, Betty, that I have to get in the new run once I get that done. Because she keeps escaping from the run I have now. And then I've got the chick. And speaking of the chick, if anyone didn't see, I'm having a contest to name him. I'm pretty sure it's a him. I'm probably like 90% sure that it's a him. I've got some pretty good suggestions on that. And probably next Sunday's live, I'll be announcing his name. I'm going to have to get some more pullets now. Because actually, even when I get Betty in there, the 5 hens in there for Earl is a little low. You should have a few more, but I'm not sure if I can put any more in there or not. Because they're not very accepting of anyone new. And then for the little guy that I have in the brooder, going to have a flock for him. I'd love to get some Easter eggers. I had 2 of them, but then neighbor's dog got them when they were, I think they were about 5 months old. So they haven't even started laying, so I didn't even get to see if they're going to lay blue eggs or not. They were very friendly. I plan on having a whole flock of Easter eggers someday. Actually, what I'd like to do once I get settled in a permanent place, I want to have a flock of Easter eggers, a flock of barred rocks, a flock of buff Orpingtons. I'm not sure which other ones. I know some people like the barnyard mixes, but I think I may have better luck trying to sell the chicks if I have purebred flocks. Yeah, Easter eggers will lay blue eggs, green eggs, and some of them lay brown eggs. It all depends on the genetics. Because Easter eggers aren't really a breed. They're they're a mixed breed. My landlord used to have an Easter egger. She laid a light green egg. And same dog got her also. She was very friendly. Yeah, a few years back, I didn't even know what an Easter egg or chicken was. Someone mentioned it to me one day. I had no idea. And I did some research on them. And what I did was, when I got my original chicks, I wasn't sure what to get for a rooster, so I decided on a Barred Rock rooster, which is Earl. Then I got 2 Barred Rock pullets. They both died within a week. And then I had 2 Rhode Island Reds, and one of them ran away on me. They got out on me one day, and they were probably 3 or 4 months old when that happened. And the one Rhode Island Red I could not get back in, and then she just took off on me. I never saw her again. And then 2 black Astalorps and 2 buff Orpingtons. I just wanted some personal experience with those breeds to pick out my favorites. And I said Rhode Island Reds. They're somewhat friendly, but not as friendly as I would like. And the black Astalorps, when they were younger, up until they got like 10 months old or so, they were the sweetest thing you could ever ask for. and now not so much. And the Buffalo Orpingtons, they're pretty good. Except once Buffy went broody in July, she never came out of that miserable stage. I hope she does someday, because she was very, very friendly before she went broody. Yeah, I love the color of Barred Rocks also. I'm definitely getting some more Barred Rocks. So if I still had all of them that I bought as chicks, then I would have 10 hens out there of Earl right now. That'd be perfect. Well, Gary, I understand that they're supposed to come out of that behavior after 28 days, but it's been months for Buffy, and she still hasn't come out of that. She squawks terrible when I pick her up. She's not friendly at all now. And before she went broody, you could pick her up, hold her all day. She loved it. She'd just sit there in my lap, let me pet her. And now she hates it. So I'm hoping she goes back to what she was before. I missed something here. I guess, if I missed anything in the chat here. Yeah, fixing the hen house is ongoing. That's for sure. Even mine being brand new, I got to do a little work on it. I should have done it when I first put it together, because the side door has just has a latch on one side, and that's starting to not latch good. It's twisted a little bit. I'm gonna have to put a latch on the other side and fasten the bottom of it down again. For what it is, sometimes in the morning, if I'm not out there at first light, they'll start pushing against the door. If only having the latch on one side, they got it twisted a little bit. Hello, J&B. Good to have you here. Yeah, I've seen some with the feathers on their head, like you're talking about. I'm not real familiar with those breeds, but obviously the Rhode Island Reds I have, and I think it's Dominic's that you're trying to say. They look like a barred rock, correct? I'm familiar with them also. Yeah, Jerseys are the best cows. That's mainly what we had when I was a kid. And we had one Holstein. My father hated her because she ate so much. She just constantly ate. And she would eat 3 times more than the Jerseys would. And she wasn't a good milker either. He thinks that's why she was at the auction. Because she, this big cow, healthy and everything. And we got her home, and she didn't get much more milk than the Jerseys did. But ate 3 times as much, and he wasn't happy with that at all. Yes, Gary, that's correct. Hey, I couldn't think of the names of any with the feathers on their heads, but Polish, that is one of them. I don't really have allergies to milk, but I they say that I'm borderline milk intolerant, but as long as I don't have a lot of milk, I'm fine. I could never go without milk altogether. Yeah, silkies, they're just fluff balls. They're they're just complete fluff balls, head to toe. I've thought about raising silkies also. And my house is about 200 square feet. My camper is. I measured it one time. I forgot what it was. I know it's approximately 30 feet. I think, if I remember right, it was 30 feet hitched to the end of the bumper. So actual living space, a few feet less than that. Yeah, I've heard that during Atlanta. I've heard different things about people with milk allergies. I've also heard that you may be able to drink goat's milk if you can't drink cow's milk. It's about 30 feet long, so it's approximately 200 square feet. It's the width of a standard camper, about 7.5 feet wide. I can't remember if you got me wondering. Tomorrow I'm gonna be up there to tape measure. But I can't remember why I measured it, if that was the camper itself or if it's a total length. Okay, Gary, you better do what you need to do. I don't want you to get in trouble. I'd like living in a camper. Don't have any need for anything any bigger. The only thing I wish that I had some built on here for storage. Okay, I'll probably be on for a little while. Thank you. But I got my old camper for storage, but I can't really get into that right now. Your pop up would be a little bit small. When I move, I'm not sure what I'm going to do because I don't have a title for this camper. And I've looked into it and looks like it'd be pretty hard to get it registered. I guess I could get it titled as homemade and register it that way, but that's quite involved to do that. I was thinking about just going to Harbor Freight and buying one of those small trailers, getting that registered and putting the plate from that on here because it's the same plate whether it's a camper or just a little trailer like that. But I'm afraid of getting caught doing something like that. If it were just a ticket, it'd be one thing. I could deal with that, but I can't have them impound it. Hello, Francesca. Good to have you here. Yes, JB, that one thing that I have thought about is once I get settled permanently of having a kitchen built on outside where it'd just be a regular full size kitchen. But like I said, it all depends on what happens. Because I'm not sure about moving this camper. I'd like to, but the registration is what I'm worried about. Yeah, that's what I'm worried about. It's in Savannah, Tennessee. It's in Hardin County. It's about 25 miles north of where Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi all come together. I've got 5.83 acres there that I'm buying on a land contract. No, neither camper got a title to it. Both campers have been sold and resold and resold and resold. And they've been through so many people, and somewhere along the line, someone didn't register them and just lost title. I've never been there, but I've seen pictures, and I belong to all the Facebook groups in the area around there, so I see the pictures they have on there. Looks like it's really a nice place. I get the weekly newspaper from there. Because I'm trying to learn about the area so I'll know something when I get there. And if anyone wants your link dropped, just type King. I've got it on the banner on the bottom of the screen. If it's gonna just be a ticket and a $100, $200 fine for having switch plates on here, I wouldn't be so worried about it. But I'm afraid they would impound it, and I'm planning on having all my stuff in here. Well, not all of it, because some of it wouldn't fit in, but majority of my stuff in here. If I don't take the camper, then I have to buy a camper or a shed or something when I get there. So I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do yet. Well, first thing I have to do, I have to try to find someone that wants to make a deal on the property too. Yeah, you got a point there, Jane B. That's what I'm thinking. Be starting out in New York, then going through Pennsylvania, and depending on which direction I go, it could be through Ohio, or go the other way, be through Virginia, and I'm not sure all the other states have to go through before I got Tennessee, but there'd be maybe 6 or 7 states, matter which way I go, that I'd be in. I'm probably going to be better off getting something down there. Plus, by the time you figure the extra gas to haul this, that can be put toward the price of buying something down there also. It's got to be something that's reasonable. Yeah, that could be a problem. Okay, Simply Jan, good to have you here. Thank you. Because if I can find something down there, I'd have to have sun set up ahead of time, so I had a place to stay when I got there. But if I can find sun down there, I'd just get a budget rental truck to haul my stuff down. Because I've priced the different rental trucks, and budget seems to have the best price. I don't have an awful lot of stuff, but you start piling everything in the truck, I'd end up with more than you think. Well, at least the cats decided to calm down now. Actually, my driver's license is suspended and expired right now. I've got two tickets that I have to answer to from an accident that I was in years ago. And then after that's taken care of, I can renew my license. My license expired on my birthday this year. That's been expired since July 31st. Worst thing is it's $140 to lift the suspension from those two tickets. And then the fine on top of that, but fine shouldn't be too bad. It's going to be quite a bit for me to renew mine. I think it's around $165. But that's for 8 years, which I wish I had an option where you could do something shorter. No, it was um failure to failure to stop at a stop sign and failure to yield the right of way. It was during the winter, and stop sign was partially hid by a snowbank. And unfortunately, it was in a city that where they just like to write tickets for anything. the officer was actually in charge, he had an awful attitude. He was very cocky. I wish Border Patrol could have been in charge of it. Because there was two Border Patrol officers that came and two the city police. And the Border Patrol, they were great. They were just as polite as they could be, but they weren't in charge of it. Yeah, everyone told me that the worst place you could have an accident in the city was Swiggle. They said if it had been outside the city and it had been the sheriff's department or state police, they said it wouldn't have been no problem. They might have given me a ticket, but it wouldn't have been two tickets. Yes, there was a speeding car that hit me. She got in trouble. She didn't have a license. No license at all. She had her roommate's car, and she was hurrying to get back home. I'm not sure if her roommate knew she had the car or not. I think that's my understanding. Her roommate didn't know she had the car, so she was speeding to get back home before her roommate found out she took the car. Because actually, if she was going the speed limit, she wouldn't have hit me. It sure gets dark early now. That was be 5 years ago this winter. Yeah, I don't like that it gets dark so early now, but I want summer back. I can sit outside till light till 9:30. And I want the warmer temperatures back too. Well, today wasn't bad. Got about 60 today. Um, got to do something about the payments on the Tennessee property. I'm hoping I can find someone that maybe wants to share the property with me and can catch the payments up. It's almost 6 acres, so it's big enough to share. Yeah, the company that's got it, I have to look it up. I can't remember what city they're in. Some He's a couple hours away from there. He's closer to Nashville. Yeah, I'd be fine with summer. I don't like the winter. Hello, Sherry Lynn. Good to have you in here. No, there's no utilities. Not unless someone else paid to have something put in, but I doubt that because it's a long ways off from the main road. It's a private road, goes back in, and it was sold as off-grid property. So I doubt anyone paid to have any utilities put in. I still have quite a bit left to pay on it. It's a 15-year contract, and I've paid um 2.5 years. So there's 12.5 years left on it. There's a creek on the next property over from it. What I was thinking about doing was visiting the people who own the property where the creek is and see about pumping water out of the creek. I could live there while I pay. I could be living there right now. But the thing is, I'm so far behind on the payments that I'd want to get the payments caught up because I don't want to move down there and then have him send me a letter a month later that he's foreclosing on it. Yeah, I'm willing to make some kind of deal with someone if I could find someone. Either someone catch the payments up and then we work out some kind of deal to share the payments in the future, and then we both live on the property, or find someone that wants to take the payments over and just give me a certain amount of money. Because I've got over $6,000 into it right now. I know I could never get all that back. Yeah, Jamie, that's my talk. If I could find someone to share the property with, that'd be ideal. I haven't talked to him in a while. He sent me a message. Um, I don't know, it was a while back, quite a while ago, and I told him what was going on, and I didn't hear anything more. And I got the tax bill on it last winter, even though the company pays the taxes on it. I have to pay them what the taxes are, which is $63 a year. So I know at the point that he sent the tax bill out, still had it. But it's in the contract that if he re um that if he forecloses on the property, you're supposed to have 2 weeks to peacefully give it back. And I've heard nothing on that. Yeah, the taxes are very low in Tennessee. That same piece of property, it's actually the taxable value of it, and they only tax you on 25% of what they say it's worth. Is the taxable value of it's around 12 or 13,000. That same piece of property in New York would be taxed about 400 a year. Yeah, he seemed to be okay with waiting on it, but it's just been so long now that it worries me. And it's ideal piece of property. It's at the end of a dead end road. It's almost all wooded, just a small open area. Yeah, I probably should, J. Marie. I did have one person that was interested in it. I gotta get back to him and see if he's still interested in it. Because what he wanted to do was catch the payments up and then start making the payments on it, and I would have lifelong use of it. And then I would have to go to a lawyer, have some kind of legal document, so it'd be willed to him when I die. No, it's still in the name of the company. Then when it's Then when it's paid for, then they transfer the deed then. Yeah, I'm going to see if that guy's still interested. He was going to be selling a vehicle that ended up not selling, so that's why he didn't have the money for it a couple months ago when he was talking to me about it. But I got to see if he's still interested in it. I don't think he's got the money for it yet, but um, yeah, basically it's like a rent to own. See, yeah, it really wouldn't be a foreclosure. Be just I'm taking the land back because technically he owns it until all the payments are made. Yeah, I wish that my copy of the contract didn't get destroyed, but because then I could see the exact wording of it. But unfortunately, I had it in a milk crate, and when I had the fire in here last year, when I was throwing snow in, it got soaked. I still have the envelope with the contract in it, but it's not in the best of shape. Well, in fact, the most recent correspondence I had with him was letter that he sent to everyone that had property on that road because it was a huge piece of property that he put roads in and divided it up. And some of the properties weren't being kept up. There was junk cars and stuff like that. And he sent a letter to everyone. He said there, he said, this doesn't pertain to everyone, but I'm just sending this letter out to everyone that I did a routine inspection and found several properties on the road in violation of having to be kept in good condition. So at that time there, I know it was still considered mine. Otherwise, I wouldn't have gotten the letter on it. Oh, Mike, good to have you here. Yes, I should let them know what's going on there. And I'm going to talk with the guy that was interested in it. Then maybe I can have some information to give him on that. Hello, Tony. Good to have you here. Well, for those of you that just came in, we're just talking about my property in Tennessee. Hello, Radio Man. Good to have you here. We're just talking about my property in Tennessee and what I need to do to get the payments caught up on that and stuff, so I don't lose it. And we were talking a few minutes ago about whether or not I should move my camper, but there's no title to my camper. That was lost owners ago. So I think when I move, I'm gonna sell my camper here and then buy something down there. That's an idea, J and B. I know all the properties surrounding it. Well, I say all the properties surrounding it. They're being in the road, there's actually only two of them. They were both sold right around the same time, so you never know. Maybe they would be interested in that. I don't have the information to get the title. Because it's gone through several owners in its life, and at some point along the line, someone didn't register it, get it titled into their name, so that all got lost several owners ago. Yes, J. Marie, that's what I was thinking. If I get a little bit of cash, maybe I could find someplace in Arkansas, because it seemed like all the connections I have on YouTube are Arkansas, Oklahoma, Texas. I don't really have many connections in Tennessee. I've only talked to a couple people from Tennessee, and I know at least one of them was Eastern Tennessee. I think maybe both of them were Eastern Tennessee, quite a ways from this property. So I'm gonna have to start getting stuff figured out, get this straightened out over the winter. Because I'd like to make a move next summer. Well, spring, summer, something like that. Yep. Calm down, kids. Calm down. Superman, leave your sister alone. Well, thank you, Grammy Sandra. Yeah, because you figure 30 payments, figure approximately $200. I'm talking about around 6,000. It's actually a little over 6,000 that I actually have into it. So if I could get part of that back, and that would give me money to get started on something else. I'm trying to convince Dog Man that I'm living in the brush out behind his house. I don't think he's taking me too seriously, though. I keep commenting when he walks out back. Well, you got close to where I'm hiding out here. And yesterday I commented, I'm afraid you keep coming out, you're going to find my hiding spot. I like to mess with him. Yes, it would be, J. Marie. And last night on Brett and Deborah's Live, they were talking about coming and picking me up next year. But the only thing is, I need a place to stay once I get down there. So I got to get that figured out. Actually, Mike and Jeff both were telling me about that place that was for sale in between their houses. But that was 60, 70,000, something like that. So that's way out of budget. Yes, if I could get that disability, that would be good. I have no idea how much I'd get, but it'd definitely be more than I'm getting now, that's for sure. And also, I worked for our local school district here for over 10 years, so I can get state retirement from that also. And my understanding is if I get the disability, then I can get the full retirement. I don't have to wait until I think it's 62 when you normally have to wait to get your full retirement from the state retirement system. My understanding, if I get disability, then I can get the full amount, which that would be 200 and some dollars a month. So by the time you figure that in with whatever the disability would be, that'd be a little more money. Then eventually I'll be making some money from the chicken business, but that's going to be down the road. Because I've got to get situated somewheres permanently before I can really expand with the chickens. Hopefully, I'll be able to sell some chicks next year, but it won't be any great amount. I'm 51 now, and my understanding is once you hit 50, it's much easier to qualify for disability. Everyone tells me that if you're less than 50, they want to try to rehabilitate you and get you back into the workforce. But once you hit 50, then they start thinking that you're too old to rehabilitate and not going to be in the workforce that long, anyways. So hopefully things will work out there. But something needs to happen, that's for sure. I'm going to do another recap because I think we got some new people in here since I said it the last time. Well, my landlord got the lawn tractor going today. So I'm going to take that on its maiden voyage tomorrow. I'm hoping to get to the laundromat, post office, go get propane, stop at Dollar General, get some water, and stop at the grist mill and get some gas. So hopefully that works out. And I don't know, you don't get any questions, just let me know. I know we've touched on quite a few things. Most recently, we've been talking about my Tennessee property. And I think I pretty much decided I'm not even going to try to take my camper when I move because of not having a title for it. Yet the only problem is if they're doing the owner financing like I am, I'm not going to find their names. Because the last time I was looking stuff up, all the surrounding properties we're still under can't think of the name of the company right now. It's two initials. Can't think of it right now. But everything was still legally listed under their name. But I'm going to contact the one that I was talking to earlier this summer and see if he's got any interest in it. See if he's still interested. See if he's going to be able to come up with the money. Because then at least if he went with his original plans, let me have lifetime use of it, then I could always go there and then stay there until something else comes along. Even if I get to Tennessee, then I'd only be about 400 miles from Mike, Jeff, Drew, Brett, and Deborah versus over 1,300 miles that I am now. The camper would be the biggest problem. Because I plan on having my license back and having a vehicle when I go there. So at least I'll be able to haul water in if I have to. And another thing is I can have someone drive a point in the ground for me too. Because there should be water within 20 feet of the surface. And when you drive a point and you go up to 20 feet and be able to pull that up with a hand pump. There's no creek or pond or anything. But I think I should be able to get a point in the ground and put a hand pump on it. And if not, there is a creek on the neighboring property. And I may be able to talk to those people and be able to pump water out of their creek also. I'm not sure. Because obviously I know nothing about those people, but I thought it'd be worth a shot. You got any other questions or other topics you want me to hit on? should be having a special video coming out probably tomorrow. It's going to be a 100th video. So I'm going to go back through stuff back until July and put a video together from that. They're saying that I have 98 videos out, but I'm not sure if that included this live or not, because I had the live scheduled, but since it wasn't aired yet, I don't know if they were counting that or not. So I'll have to check tonight and see what they're saying. And if they're still saying 98, or yeah, if they're still saying 98, then I'll do one more video or maybe a short. And then I'll put my 100th video out. Yep, between my lives, my shorts, and my regular videos, I'm going to be hitting 100 here. But if they were counting this one already, then this is 98. I had it scheduled and it was showing on there, but I don't know if they counted it. Yeah, that quite doghouse he built there for those dogs. Yeah, I want to do a special video for my 100th. Well, by putting a lot of videos out like this, it's helping me out with my watch hours. Because I'm pushing 1,500 watch hours now. I think it's 1,473. That's as of last night. So right now, my watch hours are building up quicker than my subscribers are. Oh, it's another thing I was going to mention. I mentioned a few videos ago that I was hoping to hit 400 subscribers in a few days. Well, I've hit 400 subscribers several times. In fact, that night before that video even came out, I was up to 400. Next morning, 397. Next day, I think I was up to 402. Next day, 399. Last I knew, I was 403. This afternoon, at some point, I was 403. So I'm hoping now maybe I can stay above 400. Yeah, I've been making comments on his videos when he goes out on the back part of his property, when he was checking it out, and when he went out and did the weed whacking and stuff. I keep telling him that you're going to find me out there. I'm out there in the brush. You're almost to my hideaway. Okay, good. I'm still at 403. Hopefully they don't drop me back tonight. I hate it when they do that. Yeah, the reason I'm messing with Dogman on that is because Brett and Deborah were doing live one night. Dogman tried to say, "Well, I'm in your closet." So that's what gave me the idea. And he's fun to mess with. Yeah, I'm hoping that when I hit 500, I can have a 500 celebration. I've got to do a little more work on a design so I can get some T-shirts made up and stuff. Yeah, that they say that they're removing channels that you don't watch, but actually, even if you watch your channels, they're removing some people too, because they've done that to me. They've unsubscribed me from channels that I have watched. I know some say that you have to watch a certain amount of videos and comment on them. I don't always comment on them. I need to get better at the commenting. I always reply to comments on my channel, but when I'm watching someone else's channel, I like to watch at least a good share of the video before I make a comment, so I can comment something relevant to the video, and then I end up forgetting to comment. I'm good about the likes, though, because I hit the like as soon as I go to a video. I hit the like. Yeah, I'll never stop dreaming them. I always have big dreams. Thank you. Can someone tell me how many likes I have right now? Dixie shut off my other laptop, so I don't have YouTube open, so I can't see how many likes I have. And she said she wanted to lay right where I had my other laptop, so I gave in once she shut it off on me. Thank you, Radio Man. I appreciate it. That's not bad. I appreciate the support from everyone. Not just on here, but on my other videos. Likes and comments and stuff are really helping me out. I was noticing last night's video had quite a few views. I forgot how many views it was now, but more views than my video's been getting lately. And a good percentage of them, I think it was around 60% of the views from that came from suggestions from YouTube. So, so they're definitely pushing my videos out. Oh yeah, that's got to be hard. I know I run into that problem sometimes. Sometimes the cat's just as good as they can be, and other times they want to climb all over me when I'm trying to record something. Then when I'm outside, usually landlord's geese that get me out there. The other animals, they might make noise, but not a problem. But when those geese start honking, boy, they're loud. I've had to redo more than one because of them. Because they'll honk so loud, no one can hear me. If I'm videoing the animals, not saying anything myself, I can just cut the volume out. Because I put music in anyways. But when I'm doing my introduction, they go right over the top of me sometimes. The generator's not running good. It's running. It's still surging some, but not as bad as it was. I've got it running a little bit better, but it's still far from perfect. In fact, you would have heard it in last night's video, but I cut the volume out because it was so irritating. If it's just running steady, that is one thing, but when it's surging, that is something else. Making dinner for me, J&B? I don't know, that'd be quite a delivery if you were. Well, thanks for stopping in. I appreciate it. Yeah, I wanted to get the new carburetor put back on because I still had the old carburetor on from when I was trying that the other day. But when it was bothering my back so the other day, I decided to do as little as I had to do to it. Yeah, I'm afraid it would be too. But it was a good thought. But hopefully I can get that figured out. I watched a video on YouTube and I've got the springs hooked up in the holes where they were showing to put them in. But I still have the offer to do that video chat. But I just have to know that I'm gonna be able to do it at the time that we set up. So yeah, but I figured, J. Marie. I never knew. Maybe you never know. But I'm making do with a generator right now. I don't know if you can. It doesn't look like it's hardly showing in the picture here that my lights. Well, maybe you can see it a little bit where my light is dimming a little bit and then coming back. But it's running that. I got my battery charger running. It's charging the batteries with that. My laptops are charging, so it's working. I know it's not ideal. I still got my freezer unplugged. I just don't want to take a chance with that. I had some stuff in there I had to get rid of, but I didn't have a lot in there to start with, so that wasn't a real big loss. Um, yeah, I gotta try to find here. I want to stop this for a few minutes. Or maybe I'll just sit this down like I did last week. I gotta use the bathroom again. I'll be right back in a couple minutes. Okay, I'm back. Thanks for being patient with me, everyone. I appreciate it. I don't need a generator for heat. My heater just needs propane. So I'm all set with heat. And now the lawn tractor's running. I'm gonna go get propane tomorrow. I got money enough to get 2 tanks, so I'm gonna get 2 tanks. I have one tank for the heater and then one tank for my grill, so I can start cooking with the grill. And the chick's getting to the age now, he's a little over 3 weeks old, that he's not going to be dependent on the heat plate much longer. So that's going to put me in a lot better shape. But when I get the heater going and can keep it warm in here. Then when he doesn't need the heat plate anymore, then I'm not going to have to worry as much about electric then. It'll just be to charge my lights if there's not enough sun during the day to charge them, which we're coming in the time of the year, shortest days, and don't get a lot of sun, so probably will need to charge the lights. And then my laptops, my phone. So it shouldn't be as big of a deal. And I can take my batteries and take my charger along to one of the restaurants that I go to, and they let me charge my battery there. They've done it before when I have issued my generator. They'll let me charge my batteries there. And then while I'm there, I make sure my laptops are all fully charged and my phone's charged and stuff. So here in a couple weeks, I'm going to be less dependent on my generator anyways. Yes, I plan on driving the tractor to town. The parish, the village where the post office is, and Dollar General and stuff. That's 3.5 miles of the post office. That's the farthest where I go to. And the laundromat is just down the road from the post office. And then, well, actually, I say that's the longest where I'm going. Actually, the longest is where I'm going to get propane. That's actually out in the country. And that's probably 4.5 miles. Yeah, thank you. I bought this little throw because I wanted something here. Because my windows were painted over by someone that I think it was the last owner that had it, or maybe one before him. They had it in the woods as a hunting camp, and got the bright idea of painting the windows on it. Well, they had the side of it spray painted and stuff too, but they painted over that with white paint. So the window, and the paint's peeling on the window, so you got green and yellow paint on the windows peeling, and it doesn't look the greatest. I should get that off someday to make it look better, but so I figure this blanket will look better than looking at those windows. Yeah, I love the propane heat. I can just start it up and there I go. Don't have to worry about electric for it. It's got a thermostat on it, so it comes on and goes off. The heater I used to have was just low and high. You had to, it was cold, you put it on high, and then when it warmed up, switch it to low. Got too hot, then you shut it off. A few minutes later, I had to turn it back on. That was kind of a pain. But this works out nice. Yeah, I'm hoping that lawn tractor works out. That's going to make things a lot easier. because tomorrow I'm planning on making that trip that I'm talking about, and that's about 10 miles to go to all those places. And now I don't have to be concerned about how much weight I have. I'll be able to easily carry the 2 propane tanks, and I don't know if I get gas tomorrow. I might not get gas tomorrow, but I was going to say no problem carrying 2 20-pound propane tanks and 5 gallons of gas. I need to get some water also, so if I had that much weight in the trailer on my bike, then it gets kind of heavy coming home with that. It's uphill on the way home. Yeah, you definitely don't want to be all electric, that's for sure. That's like an electric stove. Then the power goes out, you can't cook. I know my father never wanted an electric stove. He always wanted propane. He said, with propane, at least power goes out, you can cook. You got an emergency source of heat if you need it, even though it's not ideal to use long term. But he's in a cold night. You can always start the oven up and get a little heat. And I remember when I was a kid, we had to do that sometimes. Yeah, that was quite a freeze there in 2020. I remember hearing about that. Yep, I can understand that. Yeah, propane's good. In theory, electric sounds good. You don't have to worry about buying propane and stuff, but then when the power goes out, what are you going to do? Yep, that's a good idea. What most people do around here is the pipe that comes out of their well be 4 feet down, and it goes to the house, and they happen to have a basement. It's not a problem. But if they don't have a basement, then they got to put a heat tape on where it goes up into the house. But then again, Power goes out, the heat tape's not going to do you any good. No, I just went outside. I thought of something. I forgot what it was. I just remembered that I thought of something to say, and I can't remember what it was. I hate it when that happens. It was something that I'd been meaning to update everyone on, and I forgot to do it. Yeah, I've got carry my notepad right in my pocket, so I can write stuff down immediately when I think of it. Oh yeah, there's so much prep and stuff that people just don't think about until something happens. You know, my problem is I think of it and then not able to do it right then, and then I just hope that nothing happens, and next thing you know, something happens. Okay, Francesca, good to have you here. You have a good night. Yeah, just like carrying my phone around with me, so I always have a camera. 99% of the time, I have my phone with me. Went out this morning, let the chickens out, and start the generator up. Now I'm just leave my phone here. I'm not going to take it. And when you know, I wish I had it. Let the chickens out, and I have their food in what's a dog crate that's got a tarp over it. And I keep their food in there, close that up at night so nothing gets into it, and then open it up during the day. And I usually leave it in there. And then if it rains, it doesn't get wet, and then just go in there and eat. Well, Rosie couldn't figure out how to get in this morning because the door opened up against a tree. And for some reason, she ended up going around behind and then coming around. Got to where that door was pushed back against the tree, and you should have saw her trying to go through the side of the dog crate to try to get to the food. So I went over, pulled the door back so she could get through, walked right past the opening, go right around, does the same thing again. And she finally decided to turn around and walk around the other way. And then she finally found the door to go in. And this is something she's been doing every single day for months. For some reason this morning she just could not figure out how to do it. Hello, Kimberly. Good to have you here. Now I just wish I had my camera with me so I could have recorded that. Anyone got any questions? Any suggestions for topics to talk on or anything? If no one's got any questions, then I think I might end this. From the 4 hens I have in the run, I'm getting 2 or 3 eggs a day now. They were consistently laying 4 eggs every day. And before Betty took off and went with the other flock, I was getting 5 eggs every single day. But now they're cutting back. Because they've been laying since January. So they've been doing good. And days are getting pretty short now, so. And I'm not sure if Buffy's laying or not. She's the one that was broody in July. Because I can tell the Buff Orpington eggs because they're bigger and a little bit darker color. And then Rhode Island Red and the Black Astrolorp, they look quite a little alike. They're both quite a little smaller than the Buff Orpington eggs and lighter colored. I can't really tell them apart. But I'm only getting one Buff Orpington egg, and then occasionally I won't get any Buff Orpington eggs. So I'm not sure on that. It seemed like if they both lay, and I should be getting 2 of them on some days. But once I'm able to get that other run done, then gonna get Betty back in there. Then I'll have 5 hens in there, so then I'm hoping maybe get at least 3 eggs every day. They didn't start laying until they were about 7.5 months old. And then, boy, did they start laying. Yes. All of my chickens, except for the chick that gets hacked out, they all came from Ideal Poultry in Texas. And I'll be getting some more from there also. But I want to get a couple Barred Rocks and some Easter eggers. and that's where I'll be getting them from. I like dealing with them. They did start charging shipping this year, but that's understandable with postage going up. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, J. Marie. Because when I got these, the only requirement was you had to order $30 worth of checks. And then if you ordered less than 100, I believe it was, then there was a $7 handling fee. And now they've got the $7 handling fee still, and they charge $10 for shipping. But it's still not as much as some places charge. And if you order the ones that they have extras of, they get real good deals on them. A couple weeks ago, they were selling checks for, I think they got as low as 220. Usually they're around 250, 270, somewhere in there when they put them on sale. Yeah, they have a lot of fun with their chickens. And they're relatively easy to raise too. It's more of just commitment to be there for them. There, there's work to it, but they're relatively easy. And you have some good friends too. Especially if you have just a few and spend more time with them. Like, even though mine don't really care to be picked up, they still come running every time they see me. If I go near the run, they all come over the edge. Yeah, that's too bad. I know a lot of cities are easing up on the restrictions. And that's why I'd never live in a city. Well, that and a lot of other reasons too, but I don't like to be overregulated. That's one thing about where I am now. Anything you do is technically against the law. Yeah, Earl is something else. Yeah, I wasn't exactly sure what breed to get the rooster in. It's between Barred Rock, Buff Orpington, and Black Asterlorp. And I decided on Barred Rock, and I'm glad I did. Earl's a good rooster. He got a little aggressive there for a while, but he calmed down now, which is a good thing. even though he's not very cooperative about crowing on camera anymore. I cannot get him to crow when I'm filming him anymore. And at one point there, he would get crowing like crazy. They say that the average chicken will live, it depends on the breed, but generally the heritage breed chickens, they say will live 5 to 8 years. But I've read about more than one chicken that's lived 12 years old, some even a little bit older than that. So it varies. And then you take some of the ones that are bred for high egg production. A lot of them won't live more than 3 or 4 years. What they call the sex lengths. It it varies a lot depending on what you're feeding them, and some say, well, I guess they have a set number of eggs that they'll lay in their lifetime. And some say if you have a light on to try to make them lay more when they're younger, that their body doesn't get a chance to rest and they won't live as long. And then I have read that they'll live just as long, they just won't lay eggs as long. So I'm not sure on that. Yes, actually, I have kind of considered black Capomarans in the future also. I kind of like them. I'll just have to see how things go. Because I definitely think that there is a market there to sell chicks. I'm just not sure how big I'll get into it. But I just have to see how things develop. Oh, been going for 2.5 hours now. Anyone got any other questions or comments? And if not, I think I might end this. Go put the chickens in. I'll have another live next Sunday, 6:30 for sure. And then some point during the week, I'll probably have another surprise. Yes, that definitely is going to help. I hope it's not too long on it. And that's another thing I have to check on too, as far as moving, is if that can be transferred. From what I've been told, that once you get everything started, that it's not a problem to transfer it to new location. Okay, thank you, J. Marie. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm not sure when, but at some point. I like these lives. They seem to be going over good. I'm getting real good hours from it. I'm getting a good number of views, so I'm definitely going to be doing that. Yeah, that's good to hear that you've heard that too. Because sometimes you hear stuff you don't know if it's true or not. Okay, then. Well, I think I'm going to end this now. Everyone have a good night. Thank you for stopping in. I appreciate it. I'll see you again tomorrow.